on. So what I want to talk about mostly is screenwriters in general, and like what sort of impact do they have on films, and noticeably, can you differentiate what films like could possibly have failed at the script level or succeeded at the script level, and then potentially have gone on to have been directed potentially horribly, or you know, what have you, so the film doesn't turn out well, even though hypothetically the script is okay. So certain films that come to mind instantly whenever we're talking about you know, just like what kind of happened with that film, are constant ones like Terminator Salvation is one. Several others as well, but Oblivion is one of them. Anytime we hit a film where we start to get into clones, we get into rocky territory for me. My mind almost completely shuts off the moment I fucking figure out there's something retarded going on, or they, you know, like, it seemingly becomes irrelevant. So stories that are not human just like aren't, so stories that are anti-human are kind of stupid, right? So if we were to watch a film about an alien that is just like, he just finds out everything about humans is dumb, like that just might be a fucking retarded film. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because, you know, we're not I am so I mean, I guess to each his own. I mean, you know, like, but so, like Green Day, for instance, once they when they were an American band, they were very good, and then once they became anti-American, you know, they just seemed very boring, and it just like, anyway, I'm just kidding, right? So, no, so I'm just messing. But stories that, you know, or a fail at a writing level. So, you know, let's discuss that. How do you fail at a writing level for anything? You know, so how can I write something that could not succeed, and then what is it that we're trying to succeed at, right? So what we're trying to succeed at is to immerse the audience so deep into your material that they want to be your characters or be in your world, or maybe we do or don't want to be there, but something is figured out, something happens that is an experience that I need to take away from this film, right? So there are many levels and many different things that you could do to captivate an audience. Rather, you know, there are consistent things that great films do, you know, and it is attach you at a level of emotionality, you know, whether you're a soldier or a paper boy or a young child who is parentless, and, you know, whatever it is that you, whoever it is that you assume in this film, you know, you become attached emotionally in some sort of manner. So the writing essentially does this as a mechanism to engage you, to captivate you, and to keep you immersed in this imaginary world, right? And to allow you to experience this given scenario, or this given takeaway that I want you to take away from this given scenario, right? So whatever it is that we're watching, like, so say you're watching Mulholland Drive, for instance, it's very, you know, it's hard to tell at the end of the film what is reality and what isn't, you know what I'm saying? But you go away with a general gist of the story anyways, you know? So the story has a very abstract way of connecting you emotionally to the mechanisms that they use to captivate you. So while some may be very abstract, like as in that example, some do it in a very human way. So for instance, if I'm a young teenage boy and you know, in the beginning of the film, you know, you're seeing mom drive me to school, and you know, her love you and certain things. So whatever it is that I'm formulating here at the beginning of the story is going to immerse you. So filmmakers call that, you know, the inciting incident. You know, there are many ways to attach a person. Like, well, in this example, you know, like, so let's say, you know, the point of that beginning and opening introduction scene, you know, with the caring mother, the nurturing mother, and then the boy, eager, you know, just arrogant and naive, but maybe humorous and charismatic. But then, you know, let's say in the next scene, the brother dies. So I mean, like, you know, however, and for whatever purpose it is that you're using all of these elements and mechanisms, it is for the overall experience that you're trying to tell. So maybe the result of that film is, you know, to live life, whatever. Right? So some films are very vague, and some are more apparent as to what it is that they're trying to tell. But that is the magic of all films and media and movies and television. So that you have all of this variety and this diversity, right? So cool. So certain things that can be consistent is the level and the depth of, or yeah, I mean the depth that the emotional attachment gets to, right? So no matter what it is, it doesn't matter what it is. Even if it's a stupid humorous film, there are things that you can do to elevate the emotional experience in the actual writing and in the story, right? So a lot of films use that in a very progressive and a very unique and interesting way to develop the story and the plot and you know, the story that they're trying to depict or tell you, or the experience that they're setting up so that you can experience the scenario that they're setting up so that you can experience, right? So these are oftentimes they're masterfully crafted. So I would assume that the writer intentionally does whatever it is that we're seeing here, right? So maybe we're giving them too much credit, maybe we're not giving them enough credit, right? So it just depends on who it is that we're talking about, and you know, and it's hard to judge, right? Because you know, while some people are consistent, some people are not in Hollywood. For instance, Martin Scorsese always delivers very great, powerful, progressive films, you know? So, but certain people are just as popular and just as busy, but don't deliver the content that is such as great or to that level of quality. And what we mean is that it has less facades, it is less superficial, it is less gimmicky. While gimmicky and facades may be a target for something in the film, like for instance, if I'm doing a period piece, you know, having people that fucking disco, like, you know, we may take that as a gimmick or a facade, but obviously that adds to the dynamic of the film, right? So that is not necessarily what I mean, you know. So what I mean is that we're telling a story that is cohesive and intellectual, as well as entertaining and charismatic and all of the above, right? So we're talking about the perfect film, right? So, you know, you're instantly going to have all of these trolls that just say, you know, oh, this, oh, that, and oh, this was great, no, that was great. And no, I mean, there's a fucking million films out there, right? And a lot of them are really fucking good, right? So what is it that we can study about those great experiences that that we can use to replicate and formulate new experiences like that, while everything doesn't have to be fucking Dances with Wolves. You know what I mean? You can have other projects like Waterworld and still reach an emotional level in the viewer that allows you to experience the film in an enjoyable way. So in some film experiences, you watch an entire film and you were never engaged. So that is saying that that film is good or bad. So if I was watching a film and I was never engaged in it, it's never good, right? So it just depends, I guess, on what it is that you want from every viewing experience. But for me, I want to live this life. Whatever it is that I'm watching, I want to be there and feel that. It doesn't necessarily need to be all like hardcore and like I need to feel every cut of the blade and then like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not exactly what I mean, okay? But I do mean that if the film is meant to be, so I'm gonna say, let me, bear with me. Okay, yeah. So I should have just went in and just said it, right? So I want a film to be audacious, right? So I want it to be. So if I'm watching a young boy encounter a young girl and then have all of these odd mechanisms, like I don't, like you are confident, but then you are also hesitant. You want to feel all of these dynamics of all sides of each character. So if I'm meant to hate this character, I want reasons as to why. I don't want to just point the finger and that be a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to feel. So I need you to connect to me emotionally. And there are very, very good ways of doing all of these things, right? So, cool. Some of the films, some of the people I'd like to discuss, and one of the most ones that consistently comes to mind with me is Shane Black, right? So Shane Black is the writer, and he also was in Predators as well. So he also went on to write others as well. So let me pull up his lineage so I can so some really, really good films. Like so Lethal Weapon in 1987. He also did The Last Boy Scout, which sounds okay, but he also did The Long Kiss Goodnight. So that one was really good. And he did that one in 96. So and let's talk about that, right? So because he has and we've been mostly talking about consistency, right? So I don't understand what is do people intentionally give up at some point? It is a certain amount of success? Does it make you convoluted? Does it make you so pig-headed and arrogant that you just wash out your form? Like what the fuck? What leads to that, right? Like I haven't experienced that, just as most amateurs who are what is that, like has ambitions to be a professional, right? So it's like I hope that someday I get the opportunity to wash out, but let's just say that that's not how some people are geared, right? So like let's take people for that haven't dwindled in the spotlight, right? So like certain people consistently deliver. Martin Scorsese is the one that always comes to mind, right? And then I mean others, Spielberg, Ron Howard, you know what I'm saying? But we're not talking about writing at that point. So how do you judge these people that do a little bit of everything and are multi-talented, but you know, with Shane, he's unique, right? So Shane is now directing as well. So he not only writes, but he is an actor. He produces and he directs as well. So he got the opportunity to be the director because he started out as a writer, right? So and he got big in 1987 with Lethal Weapon. Then he wrote The Monster Squad, and then he wrote Lethal Weapon 2, and then he wrote The Last Boy Scout, Lethal Weapon 3, The Last Action Hero, right? The Long Kiss Goodnight, Lethal Weapon 4, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which has Robert Downey and fucking Val Kilmer, and it's just like it's an old they're over the hill type of film. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, he also wrote Iron Man 3. So, and here's where we start getting into some fucking. So we were already into some that were okay, right? So as you saw, you know, there were a couple of big hitters, and then there was a lot of just it kind of feels like philandering, you know, like we have a like we're here, let's just fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? Like so it I like people that consistently overpower themselves and consistently outdo themselves, right? So Burton always is competing with himself, right? So people that are oblivious to the downside of this, you know. So you see very very high highs, you know, and then like you see some very 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 good lows as well, you know. So like for instance Iron Man 3, right? So how how do you go from Lethal Weapon or Predator to Iron Man 3? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, right. So I mean, he's geared for more, right? And then like, so I mean, let's not give him too much shit, right? Because he did something cool recently. Edge. That was so dope. Cool. So I don't know if you guys got to watch that shit, but it was pretty fucking awesome. So it got it looks like it got rated pretty low here on IMDb. But if you enjoyed Django, you would enjoy Edge. Edge is very over the top western, kind of in the cold classic sense of you know, 1960s type, very prominent hero type. We were talking about one the other day, the Manejo shit, where this fucking hatchet wielding guy was cutting people's arms off, you know, with fucking a hatchet and stuff. When this fucking guy drew for his gun, this guy threw a fucking hatchet and cut his goddamn arm off. So this type of shit, right? So Quentin Tarantino type of shit. Anyways, Edge was pretty good, right? So go check Edge out. It's on Hulu. I'm sorry, Amazon. So Amazon did this really cool weird thing at the beginning of this year, where it was kind of like a pilot season, and they were airing some new pilots that could potentially be picked up for new shit. So Edge was one of them, and I don't think it because I haven't seen any more of it since. So I don't think it did well. But anyways, I like that one. But if go watch Iron Man 3, or if you've seen Iron Man 3, you know, like give me your rundown of that. And you know, I'm not sure if I care enough to do one for me, but you know, I may love to hear what you think about it. Films that I would specifically love to talk about. One is not written by Shane Black, but is Predators related. So you know that kind of segues me into that. So the Robert Rodriguez directed Predators. You know, so here's an example of a story that sounds good, right? So I'm gonna tell you this shit. And I kind of went over it before, so I'll try to explain it in a way that's similar. However, so in the film begins and we start with a bunch of confusion and soldiers who are confused but who are being traveled somewhere and seemingly against their will, right? So I'm not we won't go into the exact specific events as I have not seen this lately, so I will tell you a recanting of my recollection. Okay, so and which is ideal for the description anyhow. So however they get here, they are brought here to this place, and it is Earth-like, but it is mostly a jungle planet. So these people are brought here or taken or however the fuck they get here, right? So, but they do get here, and each one of them is seemingly like a soldier of a high skill or whatever from wherever the fuck it is that they're from, right? So they are seemingly all brought here for a purpose, and this is a Predators film. So it is an alien planet. It is not Earth, and on this place is a vast jungle, right? So they're all brought here and entered, and they are competitors in a hunt for survival on a planet, and they're brought here by the predators, right? So it is a ongoing thing in this planet, on this planet. But anyways, so these people encounter a person who has been here from a prior competition, right? So they are, as they acclimate, they are told about what is happening, and they are collecting the knowledge and ability to potentially survive this or not, right? So it becomes very apparent that everyone will not survive this encounter. However, there seems to be no way to get off of this place, and then the person that they encounter that is here has been here for a long time, right? So there is seemingly no way away from this place. So wherever they have come, they are supposed to be, you know, the elite of the elite or some shit, you know, because why would they have been selected otherwise? But anywho, so there's your fucking premise, right? So how do you fuck that up, right? Like, so that sounds pretty good, right? So I mean, it's a Predators film, right? So they go around the galaxy kind of looking for the ultimate fucking warrior, kind of like Dragon Ball Z, right? So Predator's kind of like Vegeta and is like shows up on the planet, and you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger is kind of like Goku, and but anyway, right? So you get the gist of it, right? So they come and they are. It is a test of skill, and that is, you know, that is what's happening here. But only it is a hunting ground for many predators, and I guess when they bring this round in, they bring new rounds in eventually, and so what happens is this fucking person who has survived mostly does so by allowing the others to be hunted, and I think mostly preys on them, and then creeps back into the shadows as they all die, right? So
they are betrayed by this man, and you know, so I'm not sure what happens at the end, nor does it much matter, right? So, you know, and then, you know, it always reminds me when we talk about really shitty films, right? So there are films so shitty that we do not talk about them, right? So to say that this film is shitty is still giving it so like I was saying, like I'll probably go and get it now and watch it again, you know, just because whatever, you know, like in the vicinity of your own home, people watch whatever the fuck it is they want. I've got buddies that watch like the Kardashian show and shit, right? So it's like people will put on anything and watch anything. So, but you know, the whole the biggest points of this show is that you know, we want to see very good content in films, you know, in the movies, right? So, but like all the time, like why can't we go to the movies every weekend and there just be like fucking amazing films every weekend, right? Like, anywho, cool. So check out some of the trashy ones that we've been talking about tonight. So cool. Go and fucking check out Oblivion. Check out that fucking cloning fucking story. So as soon as we figure out that this shit is so he's like a clone in. There are multiple of him in this region, and they don't know about each other. And I'm not sure if he believes he's the only person. Anyway, so the overall eventual thing is that we're you know, whatever. That's really kind of how it is. But anyway, like the fucking humans are controlled by robots or something. It's fucking juvenile. Yeah, you know what I mean? So and then another one, so go and check out Oblivion. Go and check out Terminator Salvation, right? And then yeah, fucking Predators. And then yeah, so we'll go over some more, but some really good ones that we talked about too that you potentially haven't seen is Edge. So go check out Edge. And anyhow, till next time, yeah.